To clarify context when writing a sentence, you can add parenthetical elements. But before we begin, it's important to know that there are other words for parenthetical, such as relative and non-essential. Regardless of terms, when in the middle of a clause, such elements are opened and closed with the pause. And those pauses, of course, will be clearly demarked by commas that show where the clause stops and restarts. To understand how these commas can be properly used, we'll turn to an example from our friend Dr. Seuss. Yertle, the Turtle King, lifted his hand, and Yertle, the Turtle King, gave a command. He ordered 9 turtles to swim to his stone, and using these turtles, he built a new throne. After the name Yertle appears a small thing, a comma, and then we see Turtle King. A second comma appears to denote a short pause and the return back to the main clause. In between the two commas is some contextualization that provides readers with vital information. Yertle's title as king helps readers understand why Yertle feels entitled to give a command. In the second clause, you can see once again 2 commas, and they are used to bookend. Yet one more short interjection that provides the reader with vital information. The phrase using turtles, the ones called to the stone, shows that they're material used for the new throne. That's simple enough, but you may wish to end a sentence you're writing with an interjection. Well, you'll still open, of course, with the comma, and then when you're done, you just put a period at the end. To see how this approach can be put to use, we'll turn once again to our friend Dr. Seuss. From all over the pond they came swimming by dozens, whole families of turtles with uncles and cousins. They came swimming by dozens is the main clause. Then an interjection is introduced with the pause. That explains who it was who came swimming by dozens, whole families of turtles with uncles and cousins. Since the clause was completed before the relative element, we close it with a period to end the sentence. Before wrapping up, there's one more thing you should know regarding how interjections are opened and closed. Use commas to offset elements if you wish, but what if the element is a list? Lists and interjections, both of them use commas, thus together they confuse your readers who won't know which comma is which, but there's punctuation that can resolve this. When you have an interjection that is also a list with 3 or more items, then you must enlist different punctuation to stop and restart your clause to tell the elements apart. The name of this punctuation, should you wish to know, is the em dash, which is used to open and close lists with their own commas that are within the main clause. This works because the em dash denotes a short pause. To see how to put em dashes to use, we'll turn one last time to our friend Dr. Seuss. Yertle shouted, I'm king of all that I see, including the butterflies in the trees, and the birds in the air, and also the bees, because I'm Yertle the turtle. Oh, marvelous me. The main clause is paused to list what Yertle sees, which includes air and trees, butterflies, birds, and bees. However, if commas were used to open and close the interjection, then the reader won't know how the second comma is meant to be read. They may pair it with the first or assume instead that it separates items that are linked in the list. Thus, confusion occurs in cases such as this. To avoid this confusion, simply open and close the list with em dashes, and you're ready to go. The reader will see where the list starts and ends, and will know how to read all the commas within. And now a quick summary to ensure that the lesson today is made crystal clear. Should you wish to place an interjection in a clause, begin and close the interjection with a pause. The pause is denoted with commas so that readers can see where the clause stops and starts and can be read with ease. Should the interjection follow the clause, you'll still need to open it with a pause. This will be followed by your interjection, which will then have a period placed at the end. In cases where the interjection that you wish to add to a clause happens to be a list, you'll use em dashes to start and then end the list and demark where the clause starts again. I hope that was clear and you're ready to go, but should you have questions, just leave them below. I'll answer them quickly, one after the other. Till next time, take care of yourselves and each other.